Hello, magnificent beings. It's Eva Gregory here, and I'm super excited to be here back with you again today. And today we want to talk about the 7 secrets to manifesting more money in your business starting today. All right. Before we get going, let me just make sure this is working over in the group. Um, Yes, it is. Okay, so now I can see if there's any comments coming in. All right. So, hello, everyone. I'm Eva Gregory for those of you who are new to the community, and welcome to all of you who've been in for a while. I am the founder of the Successful Spiritual Entrepreneur Community right here and the Enlightened Business Success Academy, where we help you integrate your inner guidance with the proven practical business strategies that are working today. I only ever teach what's working today, and how to do that to attract your divine high-end client who really values what you have to offer, who sees the value in that and is eager to work with you. So as you are coming on, hey Diane, good to see you. I'm just going to say, hey, as you're coming on, say hello. So there you go. And by the way, whether you're catching this live or you're catching this on the replay, say hello, because I come back in here and I do check comments, any questions that you have. If I happen to miss them if we're going live or you're on the replay, I do come back and I answer those. So treat it like it's live, all right? So let's talk about these seven secrets to manifesting money right now. And of course, the manifesting money starts energetically first. And for any of you who know anything about me, that is where everything begins. Everything begins and ends with the energy alignment. What I've noticed is there are way too many spiritual entrepreneurs and coaches who are running their businesses in survival mode. And it doesn't start out that way. By the way, if you missed last week's Facebook Live, I talked all about that. So go back and grab that. It's under the units under Facebook Live trainings. But when people start out in their businesses, you started out in your business, coaches, healers, holistic practitioners, spiritual entrepreneurs, change agents, thought leaders. We have a passion for what we're doing. We have a message we want to share. And there are people that we want to positively impact. But as you have this clear, pure energy around your business, then as you start to get into the day-to-day practical aspects of your business, that's when things start to get mucked up. And that's when they soon find themselves being in reactive mode, or they're struggling to stay on top of all the things that they were taught that they should do in order to create a successful business. And then on top of that, we have all kinds of distractions. Distractions bombard us from everywhere. One of the most frustrating and common syndromes is where maybe you find yourself, you're perpetually trying a new tool, or you're taking a new course, and then you're not having time to really learn it, or you're not taking advantages of all the aspects of those programs and courses. And then, of course, there are the distractions like email and Facebook and Instagram. And now we have a new kid on the block called the Clubhouse, right? So it's just if it was just a matter of managing our social interactions better, or avoiding the bright, shiny objects, we would still only see limited improvement. When you feel stuck in your business and you're not making anywhere near the income that you want to be making, there are a few quick fixes that need to happen, but it can't happen with quick fixes. Okay, that's not what's needed here. What is needed is a radical paradigm shift. Okay, a radical paradigm shift, which is what we're going to talk about today. It's finding a completely different way of thinking, so that you're not wasting time trying to solve all your money lack in the same old way, which is what we can tend to do. We're struggling in our money, and then we try to do something, and we put something out there and it didn't work, and then we do it again. So it's a paradigm shift. We want to think paradigm shift, all right? So you don't want to be wasting your time trying to solve your problem in the same old thinking that had you create that to begin with, if that makes sense. Because if you do that, if you're focusing on trying to fix something, you're actually focused on the negative. Even if I'm wanting something different from this, you're actually still focused. I want something different than what I have that I don't want. Is that making sense? And so you're still focusing on the negative, and that puts you in a pretty punitive mode with yourself, and that doesn't create positive energy. It does not spark that vibrant creativity within you. And instead, attempting to repair these perennial problems, it just drains you. It just discourages you. And of course, that's not the energy we want to be in either. One of the things that I teach in the Enlightened Business Success Academy, foundation basically of what we teach in that, is how do you create fresh and new? Not create a change from what has been up to now or something that you don't like, but how do you just truncate that and focus on, this is what I want, clean, fresh, new. I look up, for the universe and talking about the quantum field, but that's what you do, and you're creating fresh, clean, new. Okay, this is one of the things. I'm planting a little seed with you here today, that this is how you want to start thinking. So it's not to change something that's already come from the ethers. It's now made manifest, and it's now physical in this reality, right? And now we're trying to change it after it's already physical. It's a lot harder to do that than to say, okay, cut my losses. What is it that I want? Fresh, new, get energetically aligned, and now let that manifest in your physical world. Hope this is making sense. Hey, Miss Sasha, good to see you. Big heart hugs. I'm looking over here for the comments, but mwah, there you are. Good to see you here. So what we're talking about is finding a completely different way of thinking, so that you're not wasting your time spinning your wheels going nowhere fast, right? One of the things that you want to be looking at is, well, let me just put it this. Let me give you a good example of this. Let's say that you're trying to fix, you've broken your eyeglasses, because I just had this happen this morning. All right. So you've broken your eyeglasses, and a lot of times you might try to fix it with tape, put some adhesive tape or something like that around it. And come to find out, it's not even the right prescription to begin with, okay? And so when you wear them, you can't tell if that dot in the distance is a tree or is it a person. You can't read what's right in front of you on the page. If that happened in real life, you wouldn't mess around doing things like that with your glasses, right? You wouldn't try to reattach a broken stem. You wouldn't be using the adhesive tape. You would go to the optician, you would get your eyes tested, and then you would order a brand new pair of glasses, right? So we're not fixing or trying to change something. We want something new. I hope this is making sense. Yes, no, maybe so. Hey, Melody, let me know in the comments. Yes, so this is definitely where my comments are showing up. Good to see you. So you guys get the difference. We're not trying to fix something that's quote broken, whether it's in our business or it happens to be a pair of glasses in my example, but we want brand new. We want something completely new. And we're a brand new pair of cosmic eyeglasses. Think of it like that. That's what we're wanting to create. Cosmic eyeglasses that let you see the big picture very clearly, as well as the details, all right? So only then are you going to be able to see your path in a totally new, empowering, exciting way. And when you can see things clearly, now you're able to focus, okay? So step one, the secret number one of manifesting more money in your business is get specific with the universe. Okay, get specific with the universe. Focus is what allows us to get specific with the universe. If we don't know what we really want, then we can't head toward it, right? And we just continue to chase our tails, basically. And then we wonder why we're not getting anywhere, right? Without that focus, goals are daydreams. Goals are just wishes. And you can interchange that. Goals are your dreams and desires, but dreams and desires they usually stay there, right? They usually stay up in the clouds. I'm wishing this would happen. I'm dreaming of this. It's almost like it's out of reach, right? Well, there's a hidden element to daydreams and wishes that most people don't understand. Dreams are different from daydreams, okay? Daydreams reinforce helplessness. Okay, they have their purpose, but when you're wanting to shift and create something new in your life, or in this case, your business, this is where they can feel like what you're wanting is out of reach. Okay, wishes give your power away. I wish I was wealthy, and there, can you feel like I wish I was wealthy? There is a sense of helplessness in that. All right, it's a message to your subconscious, and every cell in your body is interpreting like, I want to be wealthy, but I don't believe I can make that happen. Making sense? Yes, no, maybe so. So the other thing I would say about, just checking over here for the comments. Hey, I see, Guy, and I see you're here as well. Awesome. But wishing and dreaming is also synonymous with procrastination, or they can be synonymous with procrastination. And then on top of that, people who just wish, they may not set specific steps to move the ball forward. A lot of times they don't even know what to ask for because they aren't focused, they aren't clear. Or sometimes they don't really know what they know what they don't want, but they don't know what they do want, right? And so before you can set a specific goal, you want to get as clear as possible what that looks like. Now, this is what my rule of thumb is: get as specific as possible and feel really good about it. And if it doesn't, then back off a little bit, okay? But especially when you're setting goals. So let me just give you an example. Let's say that you want a new mountain bike, all right? You want a new mountain bike, you want a new blue mountain bike. I wish I had a new mountain bike. Okay, that's a wish. That's a wish. Now, deciding you were going to get that blue Nishiki Women's Pueblo 26-inch mountain bike that you saw at the sports store the other day. All right. It was $697, and you know it's coming on sale next month for $397. So now you're deciding, I'm going to get that bike that I saw at the store that was this cost, and I'm going to get it at the discount. Very specific, right? So I wish I had a new mountain bike. A blue mountain bike is very different than that one that I saw at the store, the Nishiki, the Women's Pueblo, the 26-inch mountain bike, right? The second statement is your goal, okay? Think about it like this, and this may be basics for some of you, but you know what? Sometimes it pays to get back down to basics, especially when we're getting clear on what it is that we want. And so you want to be thinking about it, just like journalism, right? Who, what, where, when, how, and why, right? Who, what, where, when, why? No. Who, what, where, when, how, and then why? Yes. Okay. So the who, you. What do you want? I want the blue Nishiki Women's Pueblo 26-inch mountain bike. Where? The local sports store. When? The 12th of next month when they go on sale. Why? Because you've decided it's going to help you with another desire of yours, which is to lose 20 pounds before your daughter's wedding, before summer, right? Before summer. All right. So that's very specific. That's the who, what, where, when, and why. And even in that, there's something that is missing. Now, one of the things that I also teach is you get clear, or as clear as you can, about what you want. In this example, I was very specific. And I also teach you don't need to know the how as long as you're energetically aligned with it. However, even not knowing the how, as you focus on it, then the how can come to you. All right. And if you have some ideas about the how, that's when you want to do your brain dump about some of those. Okay. So as an example, so how am I going to achieve this? So let's say, so this was something of mine. All right. 14 years old. I've got an allowance, $40 a week. And so for me to get that bike, that is a huge goal. That's a huge goal. And so that means there's no way that I'm going to be able to get that bike if I'm depending on my salary. My allowance. Now, if you happen to be a 30-year-old copywriter, raising that money could be just as easy as making an offer to do some social media copywriting, a very short, easy project, okay? So for you as the copywriter, that strategy is hardly even a challenge. It's just something you can easily do. It's a simple one strategy solution, and you make more than you would even spend on that one project, right? If you happen to be the 14-year-old girl, that's going to be a bigger challenge. And that's when you want to get creative, okay? And this is where, of course, you go to the essence of what you want. You pick that picture up and you put that on your wall of that Nishiki women's mountain bike. And then you just ask, what are ways to bring that about? So you're still playing in the ethers, you're playing in the energy, but when you're doing this, you're starting to open yourself up to begin to get those answers, all right? So things might come to her like, well, I could get babysitting jobs, except no one needs a babysitter right now because we're all sheltering in place with the pandemic, okay? Or she could ask her parents to buy the bike. But that's not going to work because they just bought her the new iPhone 12 for her birthday last week. So finally, you just keep looking at what's possible. So one of the things that might show up is that she could show her parents the picture of the bike, tell them it's going to be on sale, and then propose to them, hey, if I do some extra chores around the house, if I do for the next year, washing the dishes, I'm making something up here, every day without complaining, I will just take it over. You don't even have to ask me. If you can just front me that money, then, that's how I'll pay you back in chores, all right? You can point out that, hey, here's the value in this, guys, because I get my bike, I get it at the reduced price, I get to be exercising, Mom, so you can't complain that I've got my nose in my phone, and you'll get all these extra chores done for the rest of the year, okay? So that's pretty creative. Parents do come in all shapes and sizes and budgets, so they still might not say yes, but the 14-year-old you would have a much greater chance of getting that yes if you were to do something like that, get creative about how it can be a win-win, rather than you just whining and pleading with your parents to get that bike for you, okay? So are you guys getting this? So we're wanting to get creative and just being in that, I wonder how I can make the money. I wonder how I can get the bike. You start to allow the creativity to come to you. So now you've got your who, what, where, when, why, and now the how will show itself to you. I hope this is making sense. Let me know if you have any questions, okay? So, so basically this is the formula, and this is kind of the practical level of manifesting more money, but this is number one, okay? Lay it out in the universe, being as clear as you possibly can, and then being open to the ways that it can come to you, and ask, all right? So use that for anything. Use it for the small components in your business or your life. This actually applies to life as well. Or you can use it for big things, all right? Now, there's another reason that you can find yourself stuck. And this goes beyond procrastination or wishing or repeating the same thing over and over, like an affirmation as an example. But you can find yourself stuck because you complicate things. You overcomplicate things. And one of the things that I am also a huge proponent of, and I also teach in the Enlightened Business Success Academy, is we got to chunk it down and make it simple and easy. Simplify, make it easy. What's the one next step? All right. And this happens a lot more likely to you if you happen to be a perfectionist. Where are my beloved perfectionists in here? Anybody going to fess up? Right? And a lot of spiritual entrepreneurs and coaches tend to be, we do, just going to say. So I'm just going to remind you to keep it simple and just use this formula that I just shared with you. Don't make it harder on yourself than it needs to be. So step one, what you're wanting, goals that are general, like I just wish, I hope, I wish, daydreaming. That's all they are. They're wishes. When you get specific, the more specific you get, that breeds focus. And focus is how we create. And then focus will breed a plan. A plan will start to come to place. And then plans breed results. Okay? So just note that the how, when we're looking, as specific as we can be also in including deadlines. However, also notice when you do that, that allows you to become, that's what motivates you to manifesting what it is that you're going after that's going to create that money in your business. You just want to make sure that your why is not only important to you, why you're doing what you're doing, why you're making the offers to your followers that you're making, because you want that why to also be known to your subscribers and your followers. So being clear on your why and making sure that you're sharing that message also breeds a resonance with those who you're attracting. So this wonderful little thing about following the who, what, where, when, why, and how, it doesn't require you to have anything but this formula. You don't need to know anything more than this. If you don't have the same belief system as I do, you don't need that. It does not require, it really doesn't even require a lot of faith on your part if you just go through this process. So it's something that if you put it into place, it works. It absolutely works. Of course, you've got to work it, right? But yes, it absolutely works. This is not for just a few people that it works for. Anybody can do this, and it doesn't matter what your limiting beliefs are if you'll just start putting this in place, all right? Now we're going to talk about limiting beliefs next, but this is number one. That's secret number one, or step number one. You could even call it a step, okay? And one of the things too, I just want to say here is when you have a specific thing that you're going after, that is going to alert you. You're going to be open to bringing in unexpected, impromptu opportunities that will start to show up along the way. It's okay. So just going through the process, it's not all on you. Just remember, we're getting clear of what we want with the universe, and now we're open to the synchronicities and the ideas and solutions and the unexpected opportunities that can show up along the way. All right. And because you're asking for these and you're open to it, I would be absolutely consciously looking for the evidence of this as you're going along as well. Okay, so that's number one, get specific with the universe. And that was your little formula for actually doing that. So, I probably be a good idea if you're making some notes here as we're going along. All right. Number two, uncover your hidden fears and your negative money mojos. All right. So, setting those goals and planning, that's step number one, being open to what we are asking for. So we've kind of taken our step with the universe, and then we brought it down into some concrete how-to formula. All right. So next, let's talk about mindset. That's number two. Uncover your fears and your negative money mojos. If you are still procrastinating, you got to lose that blame game, because it's what you're doing to yourself. That self-critic that is telling you that you are not doing it right, or you should be further along. It's that blame game. Your gremlins can be very loud and obnoxious. Procrastination, by the way, it's almost always a byproduct of fear. So what we want to do is we want to tackle those fears and see how can we make those go away. Basically, let's pack those gremlins up and send them to Siberia. All right, so we want to break those down just kind of like we did with the other formula. First thing is start to notice. First thing you got to do, just what are those repetitive thoughts that that are running around in your head, the ones that are not supporting you, the ones that make you feel powerless. All right, what are the thoughts that are bleeding your time and your energy? It's interesting because as kids, And we're like little sponges, and we soak everything up. If we're fortunate enough to have a really good support system growing up, that's great. Even in the best of households, I feel like there's a lot of negative influence. Our parents did the best they could with who they were and what they know, and still, we soaked up a lot of negative thoughts and negative beliefs, right? And as you probably discovered, they cling. They're sticking to you even now, right? Even highly successful coaches and spiritual entrepreneurs, they fall prey to this every day, myself included, all right? But the key is that they can name those gremlins and chase them away fairly quickly, all right? So repetitive thoughts are almost like negative money mantras, negative thoughts or money mantras, and the negative money mantras anyway. And so whatever's going on in your head, my hunch is it's been going on for years and years and years. In fact, sometimes things will be going on in your head, you're not even aware that they're going on, all right? And so the first thing is to be aware. So you want to start noticing and start watching out for them. And then write what those are down as you catch them, okay? This is your fun work, because it really is fun when you start to become aware of them and start to move out of them, all right? So it feels like, I'm looking at the negative, but actually what we're doing is we're bringing up what needs to be brought up into the light so that we can nip it in the buds, right? So look at, what do you beat yourself up with? I'd love to hear some of them if any of you are brave enough to share. But there could be things like, I don't deserve to make lots of money. Only greedy people are wealthy. Money doesn't grow on trees. Anybody have some of these common ones? I know these are the ones I grew up with. I have to work so hard in order to make more money. Another one is, I'm no good with money. Only greedy people are wealthy. What else? I should be just happy. I should just be happy with what I've got. I shouldn't want more. That's another one. Money is the root of all evil. My favorite. You can't be spiritual and be wealthy. Well, we know better than that. I hope you know better than that. So where do these crazy, crazy beliefs come from? Most of these, they're going on in our heads. A lot, like I said, a lot of them, it's now time to become aware when you notice them, not to get down on yourself when you notice them. So without an emotional charge, I just noticed that thought that I have. Okay, not good, bad, right, or wrong. It just is, but now you're aware. First huge step to start to clean these out, okay? So for example, maybe your grandmother would say, money doesn't grow on trees. Your dad can't afford to give you the things that you want. Or your mother saying, wow, why is it that you can't seem to support this family? And, the money fights that perhaps you heard in your family. I certainly did in mine. Lots of bitterness, So if you're having some of those same thoughts, or some that have morphed from those, just be aware of them and just know that, wait a minute, that's not my truth. It's a gremlin. So we've got your gremlin and we got your guidance. Your guidance is always telling you your truth. Your gremlins, not so much. All right. Those are your gremlins. And so now what you want to do is you want to reframe these so that the minute you are aware that you're having these thoughts, you truncate it. But you got to be consciously aware of it, right? So think of it like your brain is this grassy hill, and you've got all these shrubs, and you've got rocks, and you've got trees. And the first time you go running through this hill, it's like you're having to jump over rocks and duck under trees, and it just feels like a challenge. And so you have to get around these obstacles because you're going through the shortest way that you can to get you from where you want to be to the other side of this hill. Okay, so every time you take this path, it becomes easier and easier, because what you're doing is you're starting to wear down a path where you're running, right? You're wearing down a path, so it starts to get easier. And by the 100th time, you've got this huge, clear grove where now it's just, you can just run with a clear path. All right. You just broke a new trail. Well, that's what's happening with the neural synapses in our brain. So every time you have a negative thought, the gremlin raises its ugly little head, you're going to reframe it with something that's more in alignment with what you want and actually what is your truth. Okay. But you do it over and over again. The reason we do that is because we want that path that's easier, so that our knee-jerk reaction is not going down the negative path, but our knee-jerk reaction becomes the positive path. And that becomes our normal way of being rather than the exception to the rule, sorry. So if we were to say, I wasted money in the past. Oh my gosh, yes. And then Diane, me too. And it's like, oh my God, I can't believe all the money and I could have had blah, 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 blah. I don't know if they're the same one. I keep looking over here at your comments. But wow, we can really beat ourselves up. So an example of reframing, like we're going to create a new neural synapses connection in our brain. Let's say it's money is evil. Money is evil. So the reframe would be, wait a minute, money's not evil. It's not evil and it's not good. It's what we do with it that makes it one way or the other. And what I'm seeing is I can help a lot more people. I can help myself, I can help my family, and I can make a lot of difference in the world when I'm making money. So does this making sense? So feel the difference. Feel the difference. That's all you're doing. It's almost like you're neutralizing it. Okay? The other thing, too, you want to notice is that negative thought is highly subjective. All right? Many times it's superstitious. Many times, some of these sayings you might have even picked up. I did growing up in the Bible Belt, in the Deep South, in the Bible. Okay? And so just notice that these kinds of thoughts can come from a lot of different places, or at least the interpretation that we were given of it was negative. And so when you reframe the thought, it bursts that bubble. It just bursts it, because now you're looking at it in a very clear, realistic, and practical way. It's objective now. So anytime you catch yourself repeating any kind of negative thought, negative money mantras, negative thoughts about you and your business. I'm too new in my business to be able to charge a lot of money. That's one. I'd love to get my hands on you and work if that's one of yours. But just reframe it to something that is more objective, right? It neutralizes that. Like, money's neither bad nor good, right? It's what we do with it. And as spiritual entrepreneurs and coaches, wow, what we want to do is we want to make a difference in the world, right? Okay, so what you want to do is you want to take your list of negative thoughts and then you write a new, realistic, positive, reframed thought beside that one. And then you start using that one. So I would say either on your phone, if you want to use the memo on your phone, or you want to take a little pad that you carry around with you. But just as something comes up, write it down. Then write the opposite of it. Now you've started to create that disconnect from the old way of being. All right. Now, here are some other common beliefs that stop people from manifesting more money. Things like, I'm not ready. Who here has come up with that one? Ooh, I don't feel like I'm ready yet. Another one, I'm not good enough. I grew up with that one. Or I have to do something else, or I have to be something else first. In other words, well, I can't do that yet because there's other things that have to be in place first. These are actually not only negative beliefs and negative thoughts, they're actually excuses. They're excuses that you habitually use to avoid success. Also gremlins, of course. And so why do we do this? Why do we make these kinds of excuses? It's just fear. That's all it is. It's fear, and it's a gremlin called fear, and it's rearing its ugly little head again. And so if you do have a negative thought, that is not a bad thing, okay? Talk about, let's shift a perspective on that even. It's not something that you should blame yourself for or beat yourself up over. It's not a bad thing. It's great to be aware of it, right? And just remember, as it comes up, No negative charge on it. Even if they come up 20,000 times in the day, that's 20,000 times today you were aware of it when you haven't been aware of it, maybe for years, right? This is all movement forward. And just remember, you want to keep it simple. When you get a negative thought, it just means there's something you need to look at so that you can clear it. That is all. That's all it is. Consider it feedback. Oh, I'm moving in a direction I don't really want to be moving into. Make sense? So examine your negative thoughts. Don't blame yourself for having them. We all do. I don't know anybody who doesn't. Look at the cons of those negative thoughts when it comes to achieving your goals. These can be huge clues as to why you might feel so paralyzed and not being able to move forward. And then when you write down your chronic excuses, which is pretty much what they are, now you're naming those gremlins. You're bringing them up out of the shadow and you're going, aha, I see you. Okay? And that starts to shrink them down to size. So I know when it comes to law of attraction, they say, oh, but don't focus on the negative. It's not that you're going to focus and wallow there, but you want to be aware so that you can actually bring it up into the light. I hope that makes sense, because a lot of people get confused around law of attraction and vibrational work when it comes to things like this. What else do I have to say about that? I think that was it. So just another example, I guess. Let's say that you're thinking about setting up a membership site and you're afraid nobody's going to join. So already you're setting yourself up by saying, I want to do this membership site, but I'm afraid nobody's going to join. By the way, that could be a valid fear. They might not. But now you want to ask yourself, hey, is this even reasonable? If I want to, and I will tell you, if you have the desire to do something, you better believe there are people who want what it is that you have, that you want to, if it's a way that you serve, okay? But so is this a reasonable fear? So that's a question to ask. Another one is, not people will go here either. What's the worst that could happen? All right. And it's not because we're wanting to go down a negative trail. It's like, so the worst is nobody shows up. All right. So then how do I put myself in a position so that the opposite of that happens? All right. So we can always take our negative beliefs or our fears or our contrasts and use that to get clear on that desire that we have. All right. Now, because you've asked that, and now out of that says, okay, then what can I put in place to make sure people flock to my membership site? Now you'll find yourself engaged, and now you're in planning mode, and maybe the ideas are coming, or you might brainstorm some things. Well, I could create a Facebook group and talk it up. I could actually give value in the Facebook group about the membership and boost that value so that people are wanting to join for the deeper connection or the learning, whatever that might be that you're doing. All right. So just use the contrast for what it's here to do. And that's not to have you wallow in it and go down that trail. It's to take it, get clear on what you do want, and then open yourself up to your truth, because your truth is always on the other side of the contrast. Making sense? I hope so. All right. So yeah, I hope that made sense. Anyway, so some of the things that you can, like a litmus test kind of questions, is if you feel like you're self-sabotaging your stuff. Well, that's what's happening when you're procrastinating and you're saying, well, I'm not ready yet. I need to do this first. We're never ready. That's the truth. We're never ready. So questions you can ask is this thought realistic? Or is this belief realistic? That's number one. Number two, am I throwing up excuses and objections before I'm giving it room to breathe? So a different way of saying, like, am I throwing up objections before exploring this properly? That would be a way to ask that. Another question you might ask is, how can I reframe this thought more realistically? Again, what's the worst that can happen? Not that you're wanting to create that, but what's the worst that can happen so that now, if that's true, then what can I put in place now so that that doesn't occur? Make sense? The what if up game is fabulous. It's a fabulous way and a wonderful way to really get into what's possible. And I'm talking about the what if up game because we all are playing the what if down game a lot. What if I don't make it? What if nobody joins? What if I can't meet my bills? That's the what if down game. What if people are going to resonate with it? What if I can brainstorm ways that's attracting them? What if I learn from them what would have them be eager to join me? What if up, right? What if up? This is where you have full permission to not only go into what's realistic, but go outside, go to that place of daydreams, right? What if I just put it out there by being energetically aligned and all of a sudden people are knocking on my door saying, what is this membership site that you're talking about? And now the coaches in my space are saying, how did you do that? And now I'm talking to them and I'm on a speaking tour. Like, you can get crazy, right? But see, the energy opens. It opens, and now you're open to receive the downloads and the ideas and the physical synchronicities that can start to occur when you do that. Okay, so this is one of those times when you are full permission to be daydreaming. So this kind of daydream is different from I'm wishing and hoping, when you're not really putting yourself in a position to start to create what you want. All right. Also, if you continue to have issues with negative money thoughts, any attitudes, just make sure that what you're doing is you're turning that around. What that really is reflecting is that you're not loving and accepting yourself. When you are going down those paths, that is not loving and accepting yourself, because you've got to understand, how does your higher self see you? How does source energy see you? It doesn't see you in the way the gremlin sees you at all. It sees you as beautiful and magnificent. It sees you loving you and accepting you right here the way you are. It sees you as deserving everything that you want. Okay? And one of the ways that you can love yourself more is just to remind yourself of that you deserve to have absolutely everything that your little heart desires, as does everybody else. Okay? We all deserve to be happy, healthy, wealthy, successful. We all do, which means you too. All right? But that means you may need to change your story. Because if you look out at your life is a reflection of the story you tell yourself, which is why many of you have heard this from me a lot, is then if you're going to make up a story, you may as well make up a good one. All right. Everybody has a story. Sometimes it's your family story. Sometimes it was inherited from parents or grandparents. Sometimes it's all your own construct that came out of either trauma or avoidance. But if you find yourself making the same excuses time and time again, you bet your life you have got a real downer of a story. And that can be your biggest saboteur and also your biggest excuse for not having what you want. There's just never enough money for what I need. That can be something you're complaining about. I just feel like I'm doomed to live in debt. All right? Hey, you're an adult. You get to change the response. You can change the story that you have bought into. Everything is liquid. Nothing's in concrete. I don't care how long you've been carrying it. And that beautiful, beautiful fact is that you can decide and you can choose to change that story starting right here, right now. So lose those negative mantras, reframe them. So make this a game, keep it light. You're going to be looking for the negative thoughts to come up so you can catch them, okay? And then you're going to shift it. And every time you catch it and you shift it, you're starting to create that new neural synapse connection in your brain. Okay? Keep it simple. That's the other thing. Keep it simple. Just change one thing at a time. All right? If things, especially if they feel overwhelming. But I am challenging you to take this action today, to decide and commit to you claiming, being loud and proud and claiming what it is that you want, and now declaring that you get to have it. All right. So that's step number 2, uncover your fears and your negative money mojo. Step 3, or secret 3, I'm calling them steps now, invest in yourself and stop nickel and diming. You know, it's interesting because I have so many people come to me, they're wanting to know, how do I attract high-end clients? Well, you don't do it by nickel and diming yourself, all right? You've got to be that energy too. And it's another way that we sabotage ourselves by this nickel and diming. So an example of that would be, let's say that you buy 50 courses over the year at $97, and then you never finish them, right? And you could have taken that 50, let's round it to 100, that $5,000, and invested in a program that carried you all the way, gave you the support you needed with exactly the right mentor or coach that's going to help you succeed. Okay, so that's the difference in nickel and diming. You're spending the same money, but how are you spending it, right? So nickel and diming is struggling for 3 years with an outdated computer, and you're frustrated and you're stressed out and you're blaming yourself for all these computer errors. You're annoying your clients because you're messing up with them. You could have just bought yourself a new computer, invested in the computer, and got things going and completed projects in half the time. That's an example of nickel and diming. Using cheap contractors is another example. And then after you've paid them, you found out that you just spent hours and hours on them and they didn't fix whatever they were going to fix, or they didn't deliver what you were expecting them to deliver. So sometimes the less the pricing on contractors is not the thing to be looking at, but what is their reputation and what can they do. Having a pay as you go mentality, and then you're buying your resources like one piece at a time, which ends up being a lot more expensive in the long run, instead of just leveraging the skills of, let's say, some high-end resource providers. So I hope this is making sense. Eating macaroni and cheese 5 days a week because that's cheaper than buying fresh produce and protein powder. And then you wonder why you don't have any energy. So I think you guys are getting the message here. It's just when you nickel and dime yourself, this is the energy that you're radiating out into the world. And so you're not only sending a message out to the world, you're also sending a huge message that you are reinforcing over and over and over to yourself. And bottom line is that message is, I don't deserve to be wealthy. I don't deserve to be happy. I don't deserve success. Making sense? So when that's the energy that you're holding, it's very hard, if at all, to be able to attract high-end clients, or it's even hard to feel confident charging your clients top rates, or what you should be charging them based on the level of value that you're giving. So when that's just reinforcing that message again and you over and over. And so that's why that nickel and dime thinking is going to keep you stuck. It's going to keep you inactive, and it's going to keep you procrastinating and wondering, why is it you can't seem to get ahead? All right. So enough about that. So the questions you want to ask is just remember pricing isn't the only indicator. All right. It's not the only indicator of a course or a tool or whatever it is that you might be looking at investing in. So the question to ask yourself is this the best tool for my purpose right now? Okay, that's the question, not how much does it cost. And this is why you want to be careful about how you're charging for yourself, because when you charge low prices and you're trying to get lower than, let's say, someone else that's doing the same thing that you are, you just made yourself a commodity. You are now a commodity, rather than seeing you as a valuable investment that is going to help somebody. All right. So invest in yourself and stop nickeling and diming. Next thing is to get support. All right. And this is where a lot of people get tripped up. They put everything we've talked about into practice, and then comes mom, or here comes your spouse, or here comes that controlling friend in your life, and they completely shoot down your plans. The most important action to take the moment this happens with anybody in your life is to remind yourself that you can't control other people's thoughts, talks, or action. All right. You can only control you and how you respond to them. And so you just remember, rather than them taking you down, you're just going to consider the source. Okay. And you can choose how you respond to them. You can change your response. It could be as simple as unfollowing a negative person on Facebook, even if they were so-called friends. And, it can be as complicated as a husband that is constantly dumping his own negative beliefs on you. That is a little bit more challenging. However, it is also up to you to remember that's his stuff, not yours. It only becomes yours when you take it on as because you are taking it as truth from him. All right. He has his own stuff. We all have our own stuff. All right. So that can get a little bit more complicating. And, I've said this too, especially in my energy alignment, inner guidance programs, is as you change, it can be a double-edged sword. Okay, that means that there will be those in your life that are no longer going to be a match to you, and sometimes that means leaving those people behind. Now, somewhere in the middle is if there are people in your life, loved ones in your life that tend to do that to you, just don't hang out with them as much. And then surround yourself with those who are supportive of you. All right. So we don't have to walk away from all of them. I don't. I love my family, and some of them I keep at an arm's length. And I surround myself with people who are very supportive. That's what you want to do as well. Okay. So just remember, you've got to bring it back to you get to have what you want. You've got the entire universe conspiring for you, and they've got to remember that too. Okay, so focus on surrounding yourself with positive people, be in positive Facebook groups and communities. Look for the perfect coach or mentor for you. They are absolutely fabulous in reminding you who you are, making sure that whoever you're working with, of course, as in all things, aligns with your spirit and values. Use the best contractors in your business, virtual assistants, however you might. I'm just trying to think of some others, bookkeepers even. But get rid of the toxic people, or at least limit your contact with them, all right? And change the way you respond to them. Rather than responding in the way they respond to you, be very mindful. Be very mindful. And get an accountability coach to support you as well. So bottom line, surround yourself with as many positive people as you can who live in that rich mindset, that can-do mindset, that abundant mindset. The beauty of community is when you find one in that way, then you can really lean into it. I like to think that this community is one of those. And if any of you have things that are coming up, post it. Let me fluff your feathers. Let me help you. If you're wondering how to deal with some things that might be going on in your life. Obviously, if it's something that you feel okay to share in the Facebook group, because what I know is that if you are, other people are too. There's a lot of learning that comes from that. So there you go. Get real support, whatever that looks like for you. The next is to practice and embrace gratitude. Always, always, always. There is such divinity in gratitude in so many ways. There's nothing but goodness that comes out of gratitude and appreciation. Absolutely not. And even with all of the goodness that comes out of the gratitude and appreciation and your energy alignment with what you want, and you begin to attract all the things that you're looking for in your life, on the more practical side, there's these benefits too, like it relieves stress. It elevates your brain's serotonin, so it brings up that to healthy levels. It produces endorphins in your brain. It energizes you emotionally. There is that capacity for self-love. It's much easier when you're in gratitude and appreciation to love yourself more. There's this ability to see good in others. Increases your ability just to enjoy life, and of course, for that connection to source, the universe, whatever you call that. It's just nothing but goodness can come out of gratitude and appreciation. So no matter how bad you might think something is in your life, there's almost always something that you can be genuinely grateful for. And genuinely is a key word here, not paying just lip service to being grateful. It just might be, it's a sunny day, or that was a really delicious apple, or I woke up with a roof over my head today, right? So we might get caught up in those negative cycles for a while, but you get to make a change right here, right now, based on your decision to do it. And so that's my challenge. Let's do it. Let's do it together. And to say thank you more. Another way that you can really shift your energy, not just to source in the universe, but to your spouse and your kids and your mom and your coach, okay? Or that person who made such a fabulous comment on your comment on Facebook. Little things, the clerk at the grocery store, anybody that you can genuinely recognize and thank them for doing something nice or thoughtful. Just don't take people for granted, really. Just look at all the ways that they make your life better and thank them for it. And then smile, people. Smile more. You know, a smile can be a gift beyond. It's priceless. It's priceless. And that not only shifts the energy of the people that you're smiling at, but it helps you as well. So smile, smile, smile. And see the abundance around you. You know, the more abundance you see around you, the more that you will attract. And that is a huge. This right here is the paradigm shift, right here. To shift your relationship with abundance by just looking for and seeing and acknowledging the abundance around you. That and appreciation and gratitude, oh my gosh, is going to make all the difference in the world. Okay. And then we go to power planning. All right. So in step 1, we talked about the formula, right? That's where you started when you set your goal or your plan. And then you discover all of what it takes to set your business plans and actions. And there's a couple of things that can show up. Either the problem is that you never get started. If that's true, then just take one small step. One small step. That's all we ask. And just make sure you take another one the next day. But it's baby steps that lead to avalanches, okay? So if it feels overwhelming and so you're not getting started at all, just chunk it down. Okay, I have no idea I'm going to do those 50,000 things, but right now I'm going to take this one step. There is momentum that happens. You do get to a tipping point. It doesn't make sense logically, but that is what happens. And so you just want to make sure you're taking one step. Get into the habit of inspired action. And if you are getting overwhelmed, then look for ways to simplify what you're doing. To me, it's always just bringing it back down to what's the one next step. All right. Outsource, obviously, as much as you can if it makes sense, and then plan from there. But those two things, just one next step, get into that action. Any habits that are holding you back, stop checking Facebook 15 times a day. This is such an easy time suck. It is. I come on here to answer questions, to see what's going on in this group and my paid groups. Next thing I know, I'm scrolling. I'm looking over here again because that's where you guys are. But that is where, I get sucked in. And so I've gotten now where I come on and I know what I'm on here for, and I have a little bitty heart, okay? And it's just reminding me, is this the most important thing for you to be doing right now? What are you sharing? Sharing the love, but who are you sharing the love with? So you can make up your own little thing. Yes, Diane, gratitude is the best. It is the best. Man, I'm telling of everything I've said, if that's the one thing that we all do and do it on a regular, consistent basis and make it that a top priority in our life, lives would change. Okay. So just any old habits that you've gotten into, even with that, just change one at a time. We probably have tons. I know I do. I don't know anybody that only has one, but just know that you don't have to handle them all. You don't have to take them all on at once, just one at a time. All right. Make it easy. How easy can I stand it? How good can I stand it? There's 2 great mantras for you. What if success is my only option? Those are my 3 favorites. My top one, what if success is my only option? Then how would I be feeling? Then what would I be doing? Then what are the thoughts in my head? Who would I be speaking to? Completely changes everything. So let that be some of the things that you bring yourself back to when you feel like you're spiraling down. And be bold. Dare to take action, massive inspired action, especially when it comes to embracing your whole new way of doing things. It's exciting when you start looking at doing things in a different way, because we're kind of getting into our ho-hum way of doing things. Like, okay, I'm doing something new and different and fresh now. Okay. So, What else do I want to say about that? I think that's it. Be bold. Change your habits, your bad habits. Keep your good ones. Change your bad habits, just one at a time. And then this is where we do the power planning. And the last one, the last secret is be ready, or step. I keep using these interchangeably. Be ready for abundance. Be ready for abundance. If you put the preceding 6 steps into action that I've given you, the good news is there isn't much more you need to do in order to complete this step. So, if we recap, you want to be specific about what you want, but be flexible. So, being open to what's coming to you. Actively practice gratitude and appreciation. Think outside the box. Think outside the box. Go beyond your comfort zone. That's where we got right up the edges of our comfort zone. But when we get out of our comfort zone, now we're creating a new comfort zone. It'll be uncomfortable for a little bit, and then it becomes comfortable. So always think outside the box and be willing to go beyond your comfort zone. And remember, you can't control other people. You can't, as much as we'd like to. Just pay attention to what you let reflect from them or deflect from them if it's not serving you, okay? And how you respond to them. And allow the universe, allow your inner guidance, allow your source energy to deliver that inspiration, help, results, all of that. Just be open to receive everything that you're asking for. Be open to receive it. My guides have said, the abundance that we have available to us, they said, think about it like the entire world's oceans, like all of that massive ocean. And it's like, this is what we have to receive. And then we go to the ocean with a thimble. That's what we're doing. And so we want to open ourselves up to what's possible beyond, like, be open to exceeding your expectations. That's another fun way of playing with all of that. So these are your secrets, my friends, your secrets to manifesting more money in your life, in your business, abundance, and you can apply it to everything. And when you're living a life that you were meant to live, you are building the business you were meant to build. You are able to operate in your highest realm of possibilities, and you can achieve the purpose that you were born to fulfill. And that is what brings the joy and the ripple effect to those lives that you're making a difference in, who then reach out and make difference in the lives that they reach out to. So there you go, Kokomo. Hey, Melody, I like that one. Which one are you talking about? Hi, Diana. Oh, oh my God, I've lost it. Anyway, I'm watching your comments over there. It's good to see you. Oh, Lord have mercy. Oh my God, I'm losing it, guys. So to feel wealthy and own a wealthy mindset, you need to achieve balance by taking care to include all of the things that are, if you think about Maslow's hierarchy, right? There is that we need to be able to have food and water. That's the bottom one, right? And then the very next one up, though, is about security. It's about, making a living. So we don't even have to be way up on the hierarchy to start to enjoy some of the things that we're meant to enjoy here. But ultimately, we're reaching for all of those levels. So loving relationships. When we have these things in place, we're able to take care of our basic needs. Now we have our business and we're making money. We're making a difference. Now we're creating relationship and making an impact. Now our self-esteem gets brought in. We're feeling accomplished. Now there's self-confidence. And of course, and then the ultimate one is our connection to spirit, the spirituality, the creativity, the achieving our highest possible purpose. And that is when we truly attract abundance in every area of our lives. So, living with integrity it lets us walk our talk to the best of our ability. It doesn't mean we're perfect. You can walk your talk and still make mistakes and fall down, right? But we're walking our talk as well as talking our talk. It brings peace to our lives, and it allows us to really enjoy better energy, better health, better interactions, and of course, better money-making results. It all is the same stuff. We like to separate money out, but the truth is, it's all the same stuff. So I hope this has made sense to you. Deep gratitude and love to all. Oh, thank you, Diane. We have Diane and Diana and Melody. So yes, good to see you guys. I hope this was valuable. I do want to challenge you to look at your business and what you want to create over the next year. Get specific with the universe, what you want. Uncover those hidden fears and negative money mojos. Invest in yourself. Stop nickel and diming if that's how you tend to be. Get real support. Get the support you need. Surround yourself by those people. Practice and embrace gratitude. Create your power plan. And that means if it gets overwhelming or you just can't get started, start with the first step. There's your power plan. One step at a time. That is a power plan. And of course, then be ready to accept the abundance that is your birthright. All right. Well, thank you so much for being here, guys. Big heart hugs. Lots of love. Those of you who are catching the replay, I'm including you in all of this, and I am coming back to watch for any questions or comments you have. So have an amazing rest of your day. Tomorrow is Christmas in this household anyway. So whatever it is that you celebrate, however you're celebrating around the world, happy holidays. And here's to an absolutely happy, healthy, prosperous, connected to source beyond all imagination 2021. Bye for now.